Welcome to Talk with Eminem
Miriam
and
and
Marzi.
this is technically is our first
First episode.
episode. Welcome and thank you for spending some time with us. I hope that you can help us improve and let's start.
Go ahead.
Okay, our first discussion with you is going to be about today's problem. We are living in America, California, and as you know, after COVID, problems arises, and we were facing too many of a lot of hardship, not for just one group, for everybody. And this is affecting all of us.
It's there's so many different things happening. It's all the changes have been affecting different people in different families in different ways. Maybe some people actually had a better opportunity in the past couple of years, but most people have been suffering.
I think those people that they had a better opportunity are the one like one of my friends that they had a kid, a baby born, and he stayed home and he raised his baby. And that was a perfect time for him to raise that kid at home, just spend time with his children and raise them side by side, and they didn't have to put them in the daycare or school, or it's just, it's like all of those problems that normally we are going through. I think this is the bright side. A lot of people, they were able to make a lot of money by selling like PPE, like products like masks and sanitizers, and there's just they were not even in the business, but they learned how to find a way to just make a lot of money by that. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing. I think this is a very good thing. I'm just starting with the good happening with this COVID, and then we're turning around to what was, it's just like all of the bad outcomes.
Yeah, a lot of lives really got destroyed. I mean, the people that they lost loved ones, that was a whole different story. That everybody who lost someone to COVID, that's a totally different category. But then the ones that they're all healthy and well, but their lives got affected, we just want to say that we're in the same boat. We were on the same boat. We had some hardship of our own. We know some of them. We might not know a lot of things that happen to a lot of people, but we are just trying to find some positive from all of this and find the light at the end of the tunnel and find ways to stay positive through all of this, and helping each other to push ourselves and each other to move forward and keep pushing through, because there's no better way than keep doing that, because we cannot just sit and be miserable. So
Exactly. It's just a lot of people, I think they misplaced. They had to leave because they couldn't afford, because they didn't have jobs. And they had to move from state to another state, from city to another city, or it's just, even from their own lovely house to their parents or family members, to be able to survive. And I think it's just that create a lot of problems and different lifestyles. A lot of people, they were out of the job, and it seems everybody get comfortable with the new way of working from home, working in the pajama, from the Zoom, and it's just communicating through the screen and not seeing like their coworkers or their bosses, or just getting like orders like directly. That was a big change, and I think that was the beginning of a shift toward a new lifestyle from now on, and that changed all of our life. It's just this is one aspect. I am sure with your work, and it's just, you know, it's like the way that you have, it was a different opportunity and different.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, personally, you know, my dream job is to work from home, to work in my PJs and just go from bed to couch and to desk and to bed. But in my line of work, it's impossible. It was really hard to communicate with the students through Zoom, and especially the subject that is really hands-on, and they have to learn things with special tools. They had to build stuff, and I couldn't communicate with them, so I had to change a lot of the lesson planning and the things that we had to cover. So it was really difficult, but I think I actually worked the hardest that year, that I had to work through Zoom. And again, yeah, exactly, a lot of changes. I had to make a lot of changes, but I think it really changed the way that the students were communicating with their teachers. And last year was a difficult year because they were all coming back from that culture, and they were all trying to relearn how to communicate with each other, with their teachers, with adults. I'm hoping that this is going to be a better year. I'm hoping that they're all kind of used to it again, and hopefully, if nothing unexpected happens, things are going to get back to the new normal, really.
What is going the new normal for you?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in a month when school starts. In 3 weeks, actually. I'm going to know how the kids have changed, because last year we had freshmen who have never been in high school in person. And they just jumped from middle school on Zoom to high school in person, and it was really difficult for them. So I honestly don't know how it's going to look this year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot easier for all of them, but I don't know how it's going to look like. But all the people that they lost their jobs, and all the people that some people had better opportunities, that they're still working from home, and they're still being as productive as they were supposed to be, but they're still home and they can spend time with their family, or not commute as much, not spend that much time on the road. Yeah.
I think it was very interesting that companies, even big companies, that they would never ever do that. It's just they trust their employees to work from home. And I think that just proved them that employees can work from home and be productive. And they don't have to be monitored, checked, and micromanaged like every day.
And they take their responsibility.
Yes.
They know what to do.
Yeah. And then with everything that is just, it's like you see the result of the work, then what's the point? It's just they don't have to drive the car. Roads are having less cars. I wish that would be the case always. Gas, they didn't have to use so many gas to just get to the work. Like, environment, it was like, it was a lot better for like pollutions and everything. I remember I was driving that time like a lot, like miles and miles every day. And normally it's just the road that I am able to drive right now for 2 hours in the normal traffic. I was able to just make it in 1 hour because it was so easy to drive, very limited car. And I wish, it's just as like things were just staying the same, some of the things, but not everything. And honestly, it's just the problem that people faces and panicking of not be able to find product. It's just like paper towel, napkins, and like it's just food. Even like I remember, even like 6 months ago, it's just we had problem with the finding like even pasta. There was nothing on the shelf. We had problems with the baby formula. I think still is kind of continuous problem. These were the big challenges for us as an American, because we were always just had everything in our hand, and it was so odd and unusual to challenge to get the food. But for some countries, these are everyday normal lifestyle that is just like we know. Like if you want to just say example.
Yeah, but we were talking about it the other day, and we grew up in Iran. We're sisters, as you know from our trailer. But we grew up in Iran, and we every single year that we were growing up, we had the same problems, but it was just so normal. It was a part of, as you're saying, it was a part of our everyday life. Everything that families wanted to provide for their kids, or anybody wanted to provide for their family, there were limited numbers of things they could buy. There were limited numbers of items of food and clothing and all amenities. Everything was limited, but it was a part of life, and everybody was used to these hardship. So I think during that time, during the time that the whole world was going through this, some countries had an easier time adapting to this because they were used to it, or some people like us who were living in the United States right now, but we're used to this kind of life. We're used to all of this hardship and not having everything ready for us all the time. It was so easy to adapt to it, but we could see that it was a lot harder for a lot of people. It was the first time in their life that they were facing something like this. So, but they all came through it, and it was amazing how fast they adapted themselves. And that's the main thing that we wanted to talk about today. The fact that we just need to be flexible with whatever that comes to us, because life is not easy. Some people are used to having an easy life, and they don't even know what it looks like when you have some kind of hardship, when something difficult happens. And some people panic, some people
they become creative.
You can have different approach to it. You can have anxiety and freak out and lose control of everything, or you can get creative and fix your problems and be flexible and adapt yourself to the situation and just keep moving forward. And just being used to not having everything the way that you want all the time.
I heard a lot on like news media, like people that they heard from somewhere that it's just a lot of kids, they start having depression. They are so depressed because they couldn't have their proms, they couldn't have their graduations like the way that it was norm, and these are not something that they can retrieve it anymore. As a person that you said is just as like we had different life. It was just so challenging. We didn't even had graduations in our country, but I feel like it's just okay. Graduation ceremony is not a big deal. You're graduating, that it's just you worked so hard and it's just you achieved what you're supposed to do. I understand that it's a missing part because this is a tradition, this is a culture, but that couldn't or shouldn't create a depression. That these things, these problems, children and parents, they had everything in their house. They had TV. People were watching TV without any limitations. They had food. It's just all they had to do is just stay mostly in the indoor, or just going to the park or play and it's just not having indoor gathering. That shouldn't create a depression. I think this is what we think it should be normal, that you have to be depressed because this is very hard. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It's just, but that's my belief. What do you think?
It's. I think it's. I know exactly what you're saying, but I
Be
think
comfortable.
It's, yeah,
Just
yeah,
critique me. Just I know you. I know you. And I can see that in your eyes. Go ahead.
because it's
Grilled me.
I think it's really difficult to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and just because we were strong enough to pass through all of this doesn't mean everybody else should. People have different experiences in life. They have different capacities of accepting and understanding things. People have different ways of seeing life, and if somebody's feeling the way they're feeling, I think we should just try to help them as much as we can, if we can. Even if we're going to have this as a platform to hopefully talk to people and help people, that would be amazing. If not, just people around us, if we can help them and help them get through this, it would be amazing. But I think personally, we're not allowed to criticize and say people are not allowed to feel the way they feel, because especially depression is something that people have different understanding or description of depression, and clinical depression is something different than just being sad. They're totally different things, but if somebody's sad, that's how they're feeling. And we cannot say, oh, don't be sad, it's fine. You know, that's how that person is feeling in that moment because of everything that led them through that moment. And especially, I think people who always had everything ready for them, then the life was easy for them. It's easier for them to become sad when something is not going their way. But someone like us, that we were born and raised in a country that we had a lot of problems, we had a lot of issues, we had to get creative all the time to get through basics of life. Things don't affect us as much. But a kid who always had everything ready for them, if you take something away from them, that is
I understand. I mean? It's just I understand what you say, but it's still, I still think that I don't want to judge them, but it's just like I think I'd rather or I prefer the way that I am dealing with the problems with, it's just a person that they had everything and they become so sad, like very, very easy, because they don't have access to what they had it before. Then if that's a solution, do you think that it's just people that they raise kids these days, it's better to give them some hard time, that they learn and be strong, to not have everything available, to just become a stronger person, instead of just having access to everything, and then become so fragile. When something like this happen, they break so easy.
I really think so, because I don't know all the details of the best parenting techniques, but as someone who's observing their student, because I'm watching my students, and I as you know, I have like 14 to 18 year olds. I'm watching them and I'm seeing that the ones that they had a hard life, they're much better than they're much better to adapt themselves to hard situations rather than the ones that they always have everything ready for them. There's certain years of a kid's life that you should give them everything they want, because those are the time that you're developing certain parts of their brain. But then as they're growing up, you should say no to them sometimes. They should know that, or they should wait for something, or they should work hard to earn something. If you give them everything they want at any given moment they want, they wouldn't know, they wouldn't understand the meaning of no. They wouldn't understand that life doesn't always give you everything you want. Sometimes you don't get what you want. The life is not always going your way, right? So and
I think it's just parents, honestly, they should constantly go to school of parenting. They have to learn how to deal and raise their kids. I think it's more important to just send the kids to school because that's where it started. When parents, single mom, single dad, parents, like, it's just as like guardian, whatever, they don't know how they are raising a kid or their children's. That's where the problem starts.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of parents or guardians, they don't know what is the right way of raising a child. They're just going for it. I know some parents that they're taking it very serious and they're educating themselves all the time. And I know parents who are just giving the younger kids to the older kid to raise, and they don't even see the little kids. So or they don't know. They're just having kids and they're just raising them as it goes, and they don't educate themselves on what would be the best way, what are the things that I should teach my kid, how I should prepare my kid for the life after they leave my house and they don't have my support anymore.
What do you think is just, I don't know, government or society or people that they create rules, and it's just what they should do to educate parents, because they are exposed to media and all kind of media. It depends on like what they are watching, their lifestyle, their thinking, their just behavior, their attitude, everything become toward that type of medium that they are following. And based on that, they are raising their kids without knowing what they're doing wrong. Because of the freedom of speech. It's just you are allowed to see whatever you want to see, and nobody's controlling you because you're an adult and you can read, see, watch, talk, whatever you wanted to do. And there is no way that somebody's controlling you. And everything is happening inside the houses. But that comes outside, and then that's where the problem started. It's just like all of these crazy news stories that lately we're just hearing every day, that angry kids, they become murderer, they become like a monster because they didn't get what they supposed to get in the house. What they have to do is just how we can create. I know this is a stupid question. This is not something that is just, we can't talk about it because it's a very, very broad subject. But what should we do to just make a healthy family that is just creating as a nuclear family and sending out like their just fruits of creations to the world.
That's something that I always think about, and because I know if you want to adopt a child, you have to go through so many steps so that they're sure that you are a right person to raise this kid. But if you're just having a kid, nobody knows, nobody cares who you are and what you're doing, what you're going to do with that kid. We're not going to even get to what's happening right now in the news, that you're going to have all the babies being born. But but I really think government should have mandatory classes for parents to be, whether it's a single mom or it's a complete like two partners that are having a kid, or in any scenarios, whoever's going to be responsible for raising that kid, whether it's just one person or two or more, they should have mandatory classes. I think they should have series of classes that they should literally be graduated from it.
I think that's a great idea. Honestly, we are forced to just have health insurance. We're forced to have car insurance, auto insurance. We're forced to just, it's like if we have a real estate license, you are forced to just every 5 years or so study again and just pass the exam. If you are in a, it's just law, you have to pass the bar. I honestly, if you want to be a parent, if you are a parent, that would be a great idea for government to expand the program, put a budget, and force parents to just go to the classes and then pass these classes as they go forward, because that could prevent and help a lot of future problems between, even for themselves. It's just it is creating a very normal environment in the house. What I see mostly right now in a lot of movies, series, like everything that is just it's making these days, all of the millenniums or Gen Z, if I'm correct, these are angry kids. These are the ones that they don't communicate with their parents. They're always on the phone, and parents, they always have argue. They don't want to just sit on the table to just have dinner with parents. They are turning around and they don't even say hello,
good morning,
or
thank
or
you,
it's just
or I'm sorry,
thank you, or I'm sorry. It's just like these are the simple things that need to be fixed. If our society, if our country is going this way for next 10-20 years, we are facing a very, very cold and angry and ignorant people that it's not be human. It's I don't know.
The whole society is gonna fall apart. Yeah, because every single one of these kids are members of the society, and their parents are members of the society. So, I forgot the era, the years. We should do some like fact checking at some point. But when it kind of talking about mental health and talking to counselors and doing things right with talking with a professional was not a taboo anymore, and it became okay. But it wasn't that long ago. It's fairly new that because there are still a lot of people that they don't think it's okay to talk about mental health, to go to a psychologist or to get help, right? If we get sick, if we get a cold, we're gonna go to the doctor. If we break a bone, we're gonna go to the doctor. Whatever happens, if you break a tooth, you're gonna go to the doctor. So if you're not feeling well, if your mental health is not exactly where it's supposed to be, which I think almost all of us are not where we're supposed to be, we all need to go to a psychiatrist, to a psychologist, to a psychotherapist, to a counselor, to someone who's a professional who knows how to help us process through our emotions and through our problems, and then help us get better and do better in every day. And it's a lot of work. So it's, yeah, exactly as you're saying, it's not just the kids that they need that help, and they need to learn how to be a good, complete person. Their parents also need to do that. So if we can actually, yeah, if the government is gonna, which I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but we're gonna
Let's
try to
be
keep talking
hopeful.
about hopeful and
Let's
positive. We're gonna keep talking about it. But if they actually put a budget for having classes for parents, guardians, or anybody who's
who wants
raising,
to, yes.
who's raising somebody who's under 18 or even and for themselves.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So yeah, that would be
for people that they are. It's just, I know that daycare personnel is just, people that they work in daycare. What kind of license they have? Nothing. It's just
well, they do, but not for mental health.
Not for mental.
Yeah, it's, well, we should fact check that as well, because I'm not sure. But they have some licenses. They should go through some kind of education and some kind of training, but I don't think any.
Probably just safety.
Yes, definitely safety. Definitely safety.
And safety is always just like
physical.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
There is nothing mentioned about like a mental.
Yeah.
And how do you talk with the person who's like, it's just, are they able or capable to segregate a person who, for example, have autism, or they have like, it's just hyperactivity, or is just, the
to identify me.
Yes. I don't think so. And it's just, you have to know.
I don't think so, because even us as teachers, high school teachers, we're not going to, as to start teaching, you're not mandated to do that. But then as we're moving forward, we always have classes or trainings to get better at identifying and maybe talking to people who need special help. But no, as regular teachers, no. We have SPED teachers who are trained to help students who have special need. But as regular teachers, no, we don't have. We get some kind of training, but it's not 100% something that you have to go through and get licensed. So a lot of us might just get through many years of being an educator and not even being able to recognize all of these issues. So it's actually a while back ago I was thinking that to myself. It's interesting that you were saying this today, but I was thinking, just like insurance and everything else, every single person in society should be mandated to go through therapy, like once a month, or I don't know, something, because all of us need help. All of us need a professional to talk to. Somebody who knows what to say and how to help us get through. But unfortunately, mental health is something that
it's been ignored.
It's been ignored, and it's still not 100% okay for a lot of people to even acknowledge it and talk about it. Yeah. So it's just being
still is a taboo.
It's still like hidden behind many layers, and everybody's trying to pretend that they're fine, and everybody's fine, and everybody around them are fine, and we only see something when it's a drastic outburst. So that's something that hopefully we can keep talking about it and getting someone to
I think it's just, let's be hopeful and wishful that someday somebody will come with this plan, and hopefully somebody will just take it serious. That's all we can just say.
But till then, one thing that we want to keep talking about here, well, we don't have to talk about it all the time, but sometimes, underlaying all of these layers, we just want to say that life is hard. We know it, you know it, and we should just find different ways to stay positive and keep moving forward, and remembering that the show must go on, and living our life and enjoying tiny little moments here and there as bonus.
Yes, life is a bonus. Every single moment is a bonus, and we should enjoy this treasure, even if we are in the last strip. It's just like even the string is just so narrow and small. I think it's just we better wrap it up here. It's just for our first talk.
We did it.
We're gonna talk more when we finish this podcast. This talk is not gonna end, but that's all you get for the first episode.
We did it. Yep. Yeah. It was nice being able to start doing this, because we have a lot to talk to you guys about. Some of them might just sound like we're complaining about things, but it's our observation of everyday life and everything that's happening. So we're just sharing our thoughts and trying to, hopefully every now and then, giving you something to think about or something to ponder upon.
There you are. You guys have a good week, and we'll be in touch again. We'll come back next week.